Okay, let me know when you start.
Go.
Okay, hi. This is going to show you how to set up and take care of this valve part of the softener first. What you're going to want to do on the back, you'll have these ball valves that should be like this as your system's in service. You want to turn them both so they face each other. The system is now in bypass. Then what you're going to want to do on this part of the valve right here, you'll see a red clip. You want to pull that clip out on your drain and pull this out. You'll see a black button inside there that you want to pop out, then put it back in without that button in it. Put the C-clip back in. Once you've done that, you want to go over here and press and hold regeneration. Your valve will go in the backwash and it'll depressurize the valve through your drain line. Just give it about 30 seconds to a minute and you'll see it'll discharge and take everything out. Then the next thing you want to do after it's finished discharging, depressurizing your tank, hit next. Okay, hit regen. It doesn't want to do what this system is. Just keep passing through all the cycles until you're finished with the regen. Okay, your display is back and you're finished with the regen cycle. Now what you can do is go to the back again and you'll see these knobs right here. You'll turn these and pull the system away from the bypass. With that system down bypass like that, pull this red clip out again, pull this out. You'll find another one of the black buttons in there. It's called a DLFC, drain line flow control. You'll want to put that back in, not the one that you took out, but the one that came with the kit that came with you. And set your line aside. And you want to unplug your valve and spin your valve off. Now sometimes when you get to this point you'll have an upper basket on it. Sometimes it'll catch and pull this distributor up. Sometimes it won't. Once you get it up, if you have a upper basket on there, you want to take it and sharply hit something with that upper basket to knock it off. You will have another upper basket in with the kit. It looks just like this one right here. These are bayonet style upper baskets. You just place it into the valve, turn it, and just give it turn clockwise and you'll hear it click. The valve is now set. After you've got the valve off, now it's time to change the media out. You'll see your distributor may rise. Sometimes it comes out a lot, sometimes it won't come out at all. What you want to do is have a hose with water on, place it over it, hold your hand on. Twist it back and forth, and you'll find it'll want to rise out. Get to the point where it rises out. Pull that out, move it. Now you'll have a new riser in the kit that's in two pieces since it was too long to put in the box. What you want to do is press the long piece on top of the short piece. The short piece onto the long piece and making sure it's nice and tight and all the way down in. Set that aside. We use a tire here when we're not using an extractor system. And what you want to do is lay your tank down, and with the water on, push your hose up inside, and you'll see it pulls the media out of the tank. This media is completely harmless to the environment. You don't have to worry about it, but you may want to do this somewhere where it's easier for you to clean up so it's not quite a mess in your yard. You do that until all the media is out of your tank. Okay, now that you have your tank emptied out, you want to, like I was saying, put your distributor back together, make sure that's pushed in nice and tight. And you drop it down in, you'll find there's a little divot in the bottom of the tank. You'll find that. Now what you want to do is measure 1/4 inch up above the top of your collar. The reason we don't pre-cut these because there's up to an inch to 1.5 inch variance from tank to tank. So they have to be cut for your specific tank. Have that marked. Cut it by whatever means you have to cut by. And you'll notice that the piece you cut off is tapered on the outside, so that sharp edge is taken off. You could go like the old school trick if when you were a kid with popsicle sticks and sharpen it on concrete, which I don't like to do, or have a reamer of some type that they make for pipes. And you'll see that that tapers that down. What you want to do is take some tape and tape it over top of the hole of this so no media will dump down into it. Place it into your tank, get it set into place. We use a little fitting device that does the same thing as taping it, but in the field the guys will put a piece of tape over it, maybe stick some napkin or something down inside it. You'll set your funnel over, and now it's time to add your media. It doesn't matter what order you put your media in at. Once it goes into regeneration and water goes through it, it'll all mix up anyways. And there are two ways you can do this. The way we do here when we're filling them is just take it up and pour it directly into the funnel. If that's too difficult for you, you can just cut the bag open and use some type of scoop, a measuring cup or anything, and just keep pouring it in until you have all the media in your tank. Once you have all the media that you're giving into your tank done, you're all set with that. And you can take your funnel off and take your tape, whatever you have plugged in there, maybe a wine stopper or something like that. Whatever you use, you can take that out, and it should be all centered like that now. Then if you go back to your first video, where you screw it back on, put everything in place, get the system repressurized, the time should be automatically set on it by the battery. Everything is all set and you're ready to go in service. You're in service. After you're done with the rebed, all you'll simply do is slide the valve back on, push it down in, spin it into place. Make sure the valve is nice and snug. You'll push the system back up to where your bypass is, engaging your bypass, and turning these lock rings and locking your bypass back into place. You can now take your drain line with a different DLFC button in it that came with the kit, place it back in with the red C-clip pushing back in and engaging it, locking into place. On the back here, you may have a line that goes to a chem feed tank, or what's on here, a PP Mini. Either way, you want to pull this out, pull this off, and you'll find a brine fitting elbow just like this with the kit. You'll place that in, lock it into place. Now this valve here on the top, okay, this was nice and snug. Using a pair of channel locks or a wrench, you can just loosen this a little bit. Unscrew this, and you'll see inside here what's called an injector. You'll take your lid, catch it onto it, and just pop it up, take it out, put your new injector in that came with the kit. Screw this back into place. Now that you've done that, you'll open these valves back up and plug your valve back in. Now in the front, what you're going to want to do is press next and up together and hold them together until your screen comes up, display English. Hit next. That'll be 20 grains per for your hardness. You can adjust that up and down to whichever you think your grain of hardness is. Hit next, and you have here, it says set for 14-day regen. What you want to do, depending on what number's up there, you want that to read 7. So use your up and down arrows until you get to 7. Hit next, and it'll take you to the time, which should read 2 a.m. Hit next, next, energy saver on. If it's not on, you can press up or down to make it come on, and hit next. You're back to the home screen again. Next, you will hit the next and down arrow together and hold, and the screen will come up. Softening down post type. If that's not what's read, hit up and down till you see that, and you'll hit next. Backwash, you want that to be 10 minutes. You can up and down arrows to get to the proper amount of minutes you want. Hit next, and you'll have brine draw set at 60 minutes. Again, you can adjust it to whatever. It needs to be 60 minutes in your case. Hit next again, and you'll have backwash. You want that to read 10 minutes. Even if it says off, you hit the up arrow and can take it to 10 minutes. Hit next, you have rinse time. You want that to be 10 minutes. Hit next, and you'll have pounds. What you want for your system to take that to 8.5 pounds, and hit next. Grains set, you want to pick that up to 56. So it reads 56,000. Hit next, and you'll see gallon capacity set on auto. You want to hit and hold up button and bring this to 1,500 gallon. Now that you have that on 1,500 gallon, hit next, and this should say regeneration delayed. You want to leave that way. Press up or down to get it to that, whichever it needs for your system. Hit next, 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 all the way through to your back to this display. Your valve is now set and programmed and ready to go. So when you're ready to do that, it's ready to go. Okay, part 2 of the video. The last part of this video is assembling your brine tank. Here's your J-tube, your brine well with an overflow drain. You'll see that you have holes on the back side of your tank. If you take your lid off, you can reach in to undo the nut that's inside there. You'll see these holes line up fairly well with the existing holes. Off a little bit, manufacturer's flaw. We'll get that in. Put the nut on the inside. Tighten it down. Now you can leave it just like this, or if you want, you can put a drain hose onto it to take it off somewhere in case you don't want it to kill any grass or any flower beds or anything that might nearby it in case anything happens with your system. Then you want to take this tube. This is your J tube, which will go down inside, and you want to run your brine line through to the inside. Loosen the nut on your J tube, and it has the ferrule already built in. Slip that onto your tubing. Oops, that piece out. That'll work. Press the tube into place, then tighten your nut down on top of it. Sometimes it's a little hard to start, but you'll get it. So once that's snugged into place and tightened, you can go ahead and put your brine lid on top. That'll keep salt from getting down into your brine well to plug up your J tube. You'll take the other end of your brine line. You can cut it to length. Some people will wrap it around the tank, whatever, to get to it. And you'll notice there is this valve, or the piece that we put on. This is a quick connect. You'll take your fitting, push it in, hold on, and just push it in. You'll feel it snug, and it won't pull out. If you ever need to take it out, you can just push this little gray piece in, and it'll pop out. And once you have it in, make sure you're nice and snug like that. You're all set. You want to put water into your tank to about 6 to 8 inch level. Then go ahead, fill your salt in, and put your top on. And you'll notice there's a sticker that came with your system that says to use white resin or citric acid or soda ash every time you add salt. You can get this at any Ace Hardware, or you can order it online from anybody. What you want to do, every time you fill your salt tank, add a half a cup of one or the other. What that does is clean your white resin to keep taking tannins out, so it doesn't affect anything with the resin, and keeps your resin nice and clean. Then the lid on, and you're all set. If you get a lot of winds like we do, you can put a couple screws in on the corner, and that'll hold your lid in during tropical weather. You're